evening. I'm Alfonso Ancheta. Welcome to another edition of Palakwento, where we just sit back, relax, talk to some landscape architects, whomever the guests might be, as to what their experiences are for the topic of the day. And today's topic is actually about setting up your own firm. So from the ground zero. So for people who are interested in, you know, conducting their own practice, for people who are thinking of making a firm with friends and everything, I think this is the best time to listen, tune into what the people are saying or what their guests will say, and yeah, basically it. So tonight we have two guests. Our first guest is someone most of the people know naman from Pala is si Vic Dul-loog. So he is our first guest speaker today. So he is the principal and managing architect of SGS. No, got that right naman. And then our second speaker today is Neal Samac, who is the principal architect naman of Land Design One. So, hello, good evening, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening,
Okay,
everyone.
yeah, everyone watching naman.
Yeah.
Um, like what I told you guys, no? Very chill lang tayo tonight. If you guys even want to grab something, grab a drink, you can, and just ano lang, relax lang tayo.
Sure.
Okay. So I guess just a little, maybe we could start with a little bit of the background of your own respective firms. It doesn't have to be so long. Just what you guys are doing, maybe what you guys are up to nowadays, especially since it's a little bit harder to manage than with regards to restrictions and everything. So whomever wants to start.
I guess Neil should start kasi
Sige.
may
Mas,
kwento yan
mas,
eh.
mas senior ka sa akin. No, our firm, right? Okay. My name is Neal Samac. Of course, as Fonso said. I'm the managing director of Land Design One. So Land Design One is mostly based in Singapore, but as many would know, we have an office there. The full name is Land Design One Landscape Architecture Incorporated. Mouthful. Yeah. Yeah. Wala kaming makuhang short name, and they would not accept Land Design One, so we had to add it. In Singapore, we are Land Design One Private Limited. Land Design One was founded, established in Singapore first, um, 2010 or 2011. We got our papers 2011. And then a few years later, we established Land Design One Landscape Architecture Inc. in Manila. Ayun. It is the founders of Land Design One are myself, Kate Laxina. You would know her. She's also a PALA member, landscape architect also, and a Filipino landscape architect also, and Brian Baker, who is an American landscape architect based in Barcelona. We were all together in one firm one time, so Meridian Asia Private Limited here in Singapore. That's how we met. Although I know Kate from way back since UP days, and yeah, that's Manila is our studio director is Ruben Ganaden, Junjun to
Si
many,
Junjun.
right? Yeah, and then our director for operations there is Gerald Kotako. And we have two very talented girls with us, Eunice Colera and Stephanie. I will have to ask her forgiveness. I forgot her last name. So that's Land Design One for now.
Hey, that's great.
Vic,
Sir Vic, kaya naman.
Yeah.
yeah,
For those who do not know or are not familiar with SGS designs, no? SGS simply means Samak, uh, Gonzalez, and Sanyo designs, no? So wala ako doon. Okay? And SGS designs was initially formed by these three fellows. Okay?
tagal na yun eh.
And
Long time ago.
yes, that was 19
99.
1999. Okay, so when the Asia crash, no, economic crash came in, most of these fellows wanted to go out of the Philippines because there's no future for landscape architects here. So
Yeah.
they'll SGS was somehow handed to me to handle some existing projects. No, basically it's more on project implementation already. So
Mm.
uh, I handled SGS designs starting 2001, but on 2005 it was incorporated as a professional partnership. So, ang naiwan doon is yung Gonzales, no? Si Leo Gonzales. Leo, are you watching? Yan. Okay. So, basically,
Shout out.
uh, it's a professional partnership now, and uh, we're one of the longest running landscape architect firms in the Philippines. So, more or less, it's 20 years in the make in practice already. Okay, and people come and go. Young ones like you, Alfonso, no? Marami na kaming na-train. That's it. And during the pandemic, it was really a challenge for all of us, no? Hindi lang naman SGS Designs, but I think all of the firms, no? It was a very challenging times. And up to now, no? Uh, we're just happy that there are projects that came in, no, just to get by, no, yung sabi nga nila isang kahig isang tuka, parang ganun lang, no, parang pang
Mm.
maintenance lang yung projects
That's
na
true. That's true.
pumapasok, no, but well, just to keep the office going, no, yon. So we have some projects naman but it's not the same volume as pre-pandemic. So
Of course.
we're 7 or 8 in the team all now, no? It's a very small group, lean group, no? Yan. And hopefully post-pandemic we can restart again.
Great.
Thank you.
So, Sir Vic, you touched on it was parang handed to you, no? So, our topic kasi kind of from ground up eh. So, it's like there was already a foundation na when parang it was handed to you. Did you ever think of putting up your own practice talaga as in sa'yo lang mismo?
Well, many times, no. Binalak ko na magtayo ng sarili ko, no. But the name stick kasi, no. It's very when you have corporate clients, you have to have that branding or you have to have that name also, no. So hindi rin maganda rin kasi sa isang company to get uh, consultants na paiba-iba yung pangalan ng opisina niya, ng gano'n. Okay, and it
And
was not yes, Neil.
yeah, and to yung handing over and actually SGS when we all left is pretty much Vic Dul-loog, you see. So the SGS you know now and when we started, it's a different thing. When when we started SGS, Leo, myself, and AG, para lang kaming paano ba yun, college band. You know, we had no idea what where it would go. It's just that I was like in IP Santos for 7 years and didn't know where I was going. We were broke, and then the Asian financial crisis nga. So sabi namin, sige, kaya natin yan. And then we had one good project that we thought would balloon into to several other, which it did. Kaya lang, uh, like I said, we were young, we were naive, we were broke, and uh, like I was getting married the next year after we had no financial freedom at the time, so we no choice for myself. I had to join a firm again. So, um, kaya nawala yung tao ng SGS dahil nung napunta naman ako getting ahead of the story. When I
Go
went to
ahead, go ahead.
China, when I went to
Okay.
China, I needed some guys, and I know SGS. They were the guys at the time. I know them, and we
Right.
know we were good. So sabi ko, ano, lipad tayo. Lumipad sila lahat. Leo, Jono, and Vic stayed. So sa kanya naiwan yung SGS. So anything that's from that point on, yeah, SGS is actually SGSD na nga dapat yan. SGS design. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and
the story behind it.
yeah, and it was handed to me as in wala, no? Drawings
Yeah,
lang yung iniwan sa akin.
true.
So, finances, all the equipments, no?
Mhm.
I have to what do you call that? Put it up, no? So
Yeah,
from ground up, itinayo ko yung yung office, no? And yon, and it took a lot of what do you call that? Support from other people, no?
blood, sweat, and
When
tears,
you
di ba?
Yes, oo. And this is where you will know who your friends are, no? Yung mga sinong pwede mong utangan talaga, no? Ah, dito papasok yung tinatawag na KKK, no? Kaibigan, kamag-anak at sino pa ano nga ba yung isang K? Kakilala. Yan.
Di
Okay.
ba?
So lahat 'yon dapat may mauutangan ka. Because when you put up an office, hindi siya basta-basta, no? You need financial backup din, no?
Yeah, true,
So,
true, true.
yeah.
Hungry, ano
When
yan. A firm is a hungry monster. Kailangan
Yeah.
kumakain
super,
palagi yan. Yeah,
super.
yeah, yeah.
That's
So,
why people who start out, they're just at home.
Yeah.
No?
yeah,
Mm.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
But
that's me now. That's me now. I'm just at home, so ano lang, chill lang muna ako sa
me-
equipment and everything. But
yeah,
putting up an
that's
office. Yes, go ahead, sir.
mm. That's good. Pero kasi if you want to go big talaga, if you want
Mm.
to have those corporate clients, no? Hindi ka pwedeng home base no? Uh, I used to remember, no, one of these clients would do office visits, no? So hindi
Mm.
ka pwedeng sa bahay na nag-oopisina. Kasi pupunta ka sa opisina mo no? They want to
Yeah.
see
Yeah,
the physical office.
true,
Yeah.
true. Ano pa yun eh, status symbol pa noon siguro. Pero ngayon, it's a new world
Yeah,
eh.
it changed.
So,
Yeah.
so it's a good and bad thing, but you know,
I think
you
I
still
still
have to.
believe that ano naman that it is a
Mm.
status symbol to have an office.
No, you
It
have to show the clients like what Vic said na you're a professional office. You're a professional firm, therefore meron kang base of operation.
right.
Na a professional base of operation, not exactly your bedroom. So
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, true.
Was it hard? Was it hard to start in Singapore?
Here, it took me 10 minutes to register the firm, and then that was it. I had my papers. I had my $1. We had our $1 company. We had our name. Registered, meaning registered yung like your SEC there. Dito we call it ACRA.
Okay.
So we sat down, myself, Kate, and Brian, uh, and then figure out what to call the firm. So we submitted 3 names, typed it in, paid the fee, and Land Design One was as a corporation was born, or as a private limited was born. That was easy. As in a place we started out. How did we start out? Oh yeah, our first office was a shared space. We shared with a friend of ours who was a gallery owner. So in
Okay.
one corner of a gallery, he let us rent that space to share with his monthly rental also. So our first the office only had a long table and 2 chairs. That was it. Yeah. So Land Design One started with my MacBook Pro, my very first
Wow.
MacBook Pro. Yeah. Ano yun,
That's
in
it.
preparation,
That's your only equipment. That's it.
that was the equipment. Then we got another for Kate. Um, that's how it started. But I bought that a year or so before we started. So you can say when you start the firm, it's already in your head for some time. Lalo na from my perspective, this is my second coming. You know, so when we first started with SGS, it was I didn't know what I was doing. We didn't, you know. So LD1 was a lot better because of course we had experience. We had we worked for I worked for an office for in IP 7 years, and then here for another. There was another firm I worked the same amount of time, and then we said, okay, let's go. So that was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kayo naman, Sir Vic, before SGS, were you with another firm?
Yes, but it's not landscape LA, it's not LA related,
Ah,
no.
really?
It's an advertising firm owned by the family, no, managed by my
Okay.
wife, no, because before I got my license, no, I already have my family, no. So medyo advanced din ako, no, parang Kenil din. Yan. Okay. So,
Uh,
uh, I'm just so lucky that I have a very, what do you call that, supportive partner, no? So, nag-iiyakan kami paano pa sweldo
mm,
when SGS started, no? Okay.
Yeah.
So, some LA friends would attest na talagang umuutang ako para lang mapasweldo yung mga tao,
mm,
no? Ah, kami na mag-asawa, no, because Vivian is my admin officer. He handles the administrative part of the office, no. Wala kami sweldo, no, for how many years, no? I think it's 5 years, no. Talagang
Talaga.
office lang, no. Kumukuha lang kami ng parang allowance so that meron din naman kaming pangkain, no. I even what do you call that? I even borrow uh, gadgets from the advertising office that my wife is managing, no? I even borrow laptop sa sa staff ko, sa una kong staff, no? Si
Mm.
Leslie Ann Legaspi, no? So, alala mo pa yun, Neil, si Leslie?
oh, Leslie, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So,
definitely.
what we have a presentation, no? Alam ka naman, bitbitin ko yung desktop. And laptop was a bit expensive way before
Right.
2001 yan, no? So
Uh,
ilan lang naka-laptop. So yung laptop ng staff ko yung hiniram namin para makapag-present kami. No? So that's how we started, no? And also since walang konti lang yung project, what Neil gave us some projects abroad, no? Naging
Ah,
naging
okay.
outsourcing company kami ng
Mm-mm.
mga
Mm-mm.
offices ni Neil, no?
yeah, there was a time. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
So we actually the lahat kaming na umalis. We were still one way or another connected. We were never separated
Okay, that's
from the
great.
firm.
Yeah.
Not as legal entities, pero every time my opportunity, ano pa nun pare, Yahoo Messenger, ano?
Yes.
Yahoo po.
Oh.
Yeah,
YM
I,
pa. So you guys would
I would,
use naman Yahoo Messenger.
May
yeah,
EDSA
I
mail
would
pa
ping,
nun.
Nabunan ko naman yun. Nabunan
uh,
ko naman yun.
I would ping Vic. Sabi ko, pare, may potential
Buzz. Would
project.
you buzz
And
him?
so, yeah, we buzz him. Then, so yeah, I remember the. Um, so, yeah, we talk over there, and then I tell my boss, I got a group in Manila who would help. Uh, who would also, because it would also help the Singapore firm in terms of
Yeah, to
financials.
lighten the
All right,
load.
so we have like how many people there? But to get that many here in Singapore would really crash the company. So yeah, pag may lalo na nun, puro China projects yun, Vic.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I called Vic. They do the production for us. Happy naman yung boss ko. So yeah, we did that for one or two projects, and yeah, it was good.
Yeah. And just to impress the boss of Neil, we have to fly to Singapore way back 2002, 2003, mga ganun,
Talaga.
ano?
Mga ano yan, I was here 2004 na. Mga 2005 or 6 siguro yun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ayun.
So I had
And
to fly to
that was
Singapore.
to fly. You had to fly because you had to meet with the boss before they actually interact with you, no? As like
My,
an
na,
out.
yeah, we
Sorry,
started
go
the
on.
project outright. Pero my boss, he's an American, Dennis Taylor. He was
Okay.
the same school of thought of IP. So he was a landscape architect way in the 50s, 60s, 70s in the US.
Mm-hmm.
When Las Vegas was going up, he's a bit of a gangster. So, tell them to come here. I want to talk to them. So, ayun. He's a nice guy, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vic knows it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fair
Is
guy. Yeah.
IP Santos level, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So after that, we also did some outsourcing with another company in
Mm.
Singapore, no, the company of Sir Paolo, the PDAA Singapore, no.
Ah,
Mm-hmm.
We did,
really?
yes. So
Okay.
we did some projects in India, in
Mm-hmm.
I think we did one in Malaysia and another one in Singapore. So those outsourced projects kept us alive, no? Until nag-pick up ulit yung economy sa Philippines. When the
Mm.
economy pick up, we have portfolio already na pwedeng ipakita rin.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Were
it
you able to
was
ever fly, sir, to the projects that you're working on?
no, no.
No.
Ano lang talaga? Ano kami? Sweatshop.
Production
Tama
lang
ba yung
talaga.
term ko?
Outsource lang. Outsource is a better.
Oh, hindi naman
Outsource.
sweatshop, grabe.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Yeah. Incident.
but
Yeah.
yeah. When
Wait.
the production, no, SD level, hindi
Yeah.
kami yung hindi kami nagpro-produce lang ng working drawings.
Mm.
We did some schematics from
Ah,
zero.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
as in zero design talaga.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not just kasi nga, the reason also well, from my end that Dennis agreed is that can these guys do the job? I said, of course, they can do it without us having to look over their shoulder. So let's try. Okay, so kaya nga,
That's good.
even when I left for China, coming from Singapore, I first went to Singapore to join PDAA. After a year, I left for China. A firm invited me there to start their department, and they said, "Can you bring some guys?" So I brought the whole SGS, because I
And when
know
that
they.
happened, sir, and when that happened with Sir Vic, and they basically parang handed it to you,
Mhm.
nag-yes ka ba kaagad, Sir Vic, or wala kang choice? Kasi they brought them all na to China eh.
Well, during the 1998, 99 year na na paalis na sila, no.
Mhm.
I was tawag nito, kaka-ano ko lang, kaka-board exam ko lang, no. 1998 ako nag-board, and I started having my masteral studies 1999, and may mga opportunities na pumapasok. So sabi ko, why not put up a firm, and then nag-appear si SGS. So grinab ko na yung opportunity, no. Kasi I do believe that opportunities presents itself, no? Ano 'yan, lumalabas talaga 'yan,
Mm.
okay? So grinab ko na 'yon. Although hindi ko alam kung ano yung pinapasukan ko no'n. Yun pala, drawing lang yung turnover sa akin.
Yeah.
Going in blind ka
Yeah, yeah.
talaga, no, Sir Vic? Para going in blind talaga eh.
It's a leap of faith actually.
Super,
Mm.
super.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I
Ganun
think when you
actually, yung mga batch, itong mga dugo namin ni Neal, leap of faith talaga ang mga
True. Sabi ko nga, rock stars, di ba?
yes.
Wala kaming, most of us were practically broke, and we started a firm. That's yun yung hindi ko maintindihan ngayon pag binabalikan ko. So, wala akong pera noon. Sige lang. But yeah, as I said,
Yeah.
we had leads to projects at the time, and we did one project. And yun nga, like I said, we were naive dun sa process ng business. Ano? We knew how to do things as landscape architects, having had experience.
Yes.
Bigyan mo kami ng pen, tracing paper, we can do a project by hand from scratch. All of us. Ang problem, the business side of things, medyo nangangapa talaga kami. So
Yeah, it's so
yeah,
tedious also. It's so tedious
yeah,
to start up a company in the Philippines, like just to get all the
yeah.
SEC papers together, go to DTI or go to your
Well,
ano and everything.
that's one side of it. Maintaining it is another. Diba? You
Yeah,
have to pay your
also.
taxes, file all these papers,
Yeah, super,
and
super.
yung SSS ng tao mo and all that.
Mm.
So when we started LD1 there, we had that same problem, and we did not get it right the first two times. Nagmulta kami. So it was lesson learned. So we definitely had to hire somebody who knew the process there. Outside of the office, meron kaming admin accountant to help
Yeah,
us with
accountant.
these things.
Of course, of course.
So without that, oh, our first 2 or 3 years, we lost a bit of money dahil we didn't know how it went. So
Yeah, especially like
so
proposals and then you figure out, well, we have to pay this amount of tax then later on, so na ano din
true. So
nababawasan
so
din, 'di
there,
ba?
so there are two sides of starting up a firm. You need to know your stuff, and then you need to know the business side of things. So
Yeah, I agree.
ngayon
I agree.
medyo yeah, because of our experience, and Nick learned it the hard way. So I had to wait, working for offices to actually learn these things and observe, and all that before I actually made the leap again. And unfortunately, with my current partners now, like Kate and Brian and Junju and Gerald, so we're all more in tune to really make the firm succeed. But like Vic said, usually the founders, the what who are people would call their boss, usually sila yung huling sumisweldo. When nabayaran na lahat ng tao, nabayaran na lahat ng rent and all the overhead,
Mm, saka na
kung
lang.
anong matira,
Oo,
ang may
kung ano
matitira.
ang matira.
Yeah.
That's true.
So there
Allowance
was
na.
yeah, allowance.
Allowance. Yeah.
So,
So
so
How
yeah,
was
the
that
ano,
though, sir? Sir Vic, kamusta naman yun? Like,
yung
pag na ano na, like after that time na medyo nag-settle in na, when you're starting to pick up, like getting your projects and all, na-feel mo na ba na parang, okay, tara, ito na yun and everything?
yeah,
Like,
but the
go ahead, go
yeah,
ahead.
but
Sorry.
the pressure is different na pag lumaki na, no, because
mm,
when you pick up projects, you have to expand your team. You have to expand your team also, which means that's another expense, no? Expense pa rin siya because you have to set up what do you call that, stations, and how much will one station cost, no? Hindi lang yung
mm,
hardware, no? Software, you have to buy them
Yeah,
software, no?
software.
true.
Oo,
No, yeah,
very
kasi
true.
ang BSA, Business Software Alliance, is always looking at your back, no? At the back of your shoulder, lagi nakatingin yan. So I always tell my staff na at hangga't maaari, lahat ng programs na nandiyan, ano siya, original siya. So we have to
Yeah,
buy softwares, no? And they don't come cheap.
Yeah, they
yeah,
don't.
and
They,
then
they, they don't talaga, not at all.
true. One of the requirements na tinanong sa akin bago magsimula is to work with them for our Singapore projects. Are they using proper software? It's like, yeah, yes, yeah, sure. So, so yeah, dito rin,
Shucks.
it's very, that's true. That's one of the biggest expense ng office.
Yeah.
Um, you can easily hire 10 people,
Right.
relatively, yeah. But to equip them, these days, hardware, software, not wag na yung knowledge eh. Madali yan.
Yeah.
Pwedeng libre yan.
Mm.
Yan. Easily. Uh, One set of license dito AutoCAD, how much? Easily subscription, almost uh, $1,400, $1,200. Isa
Singapore.
lang seat.
Yeah.
Isang seat
For
lang
one
yan, di ba?
computer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think
So we have
like knowing all these? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, please.
no go. Yeah.
Okay. So like, you think knowing all these things in hindsight, if you were to put up a firm now, would you do it? Like say you're someone like me and I want to get out of the firm that I'm in and start up my own practice. Would you do it knowing that you have to worry about all these things, get good partners, good company, and know the right people? Is it? What do you think? Yun nga, parang with around like 5 years of hardships. On,
If I a firm, you must remember a firm can be good for several years. If you do not sustain it, there could be another 5 years of hardship. It doesn't
it's
stop,
true.
so you have to sustain it. If you have a name, doesn't matter. We all know where if you don't sustain it, you're just gonna be in the footnote later on. So if would I start? Kasi iba yung perspective ng when you work for some time for a firm. I
Mm-hmm.
worked for like 7 years with IP. I stayed. I started in my when as an apprentice, then all the way seven. So when we talked about it, between Leo, AG, and myself, kaya na natin to. We were doing the big projects at the time. At the time, I before I left, and before the Asian crisis hit, IP was doing like super projects, Mount Malaraya, Tagaytay Highlands, Ayala West Grove. We were all handling these projects. Kami yung nagpapatakbo na. We presented to the clients. And they knew us. So malakas ang loob namin. Tatawagin tayo nito. Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Which in some projects, they eventually they did. Having known us. Even to this day, the people we knew from back then still know us. So nagagamit namin yung network na yun because but to start, and when we started LD1, again, it's also a different perspective. We were more stable financially here. We did big projects here all over. We big projects in Asia, in the Middle East, in Singapore, and we were. I was more confident. I had a bit of money in the bank, and I knew I had connections in. I had a bit of network in Manila that I could use. So, you don't just jump. You can't just say that. Oh, mahirap 5 years. You don't know that, right? So
Yeah.
when we started,
That's
it
true.
was our first project. When we started LD1, we waited for 6 to 9, almost 9 months, I think, before we landed one. You know what we were doing? We were joining competitions
Oh,
just
okay.
to find out how the three of us work together, the
That's a good
partners.
idea, no? Yeah, that's
So
actually a
that's what
really
we
good
did.
idea. Yeah.
We didn't win anything, but it became part of our portfolio. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
true.
Either way, it's a win-win naman. You can figure out how to work with your partner at the same time. You could at least show your clients the output that you came up with for the
Yeah,
competition. I
yeah.
like, yeah, that's a really good idea nga. And it keeps your
But
mind running
yeah,
then.
true.
Sorry.
But to backtrack, all of us when we started had a portfolio from our past projects in
Of
Singapore,
course.
mahaba na, no? So
Yeah.
that's also the confidence. Yun yung difference when I started way back SGS and today. So I did it twice. So yes, you can do it. And Vic did it from scratch. So
No
Oo nga.
regrets. No
No
regrets.
regrets. That's good.
Yes, no
That's
regrets.
good.
There's a lot of learning curve at the at the start, no. But you learn from those experiences, no. There's no mistakes actually, no. Only experiences sa profession natin,
Very true.
no.
Very true.
Yeah. So those experiences will help you to your next project, no. You built up your portfolio that will help you in your next project. Okay. So for me, no regrets in setting up or taking SGS, no. It's handed to me nga pero no regrets, no. Ayan. So the 5 years of what do you call that, hardship, um yeah, it's compensated, well compensated naman after that, no. As long as you take good care of your office, no. Dapat thinking long term tayo pag nagtayo kayo ng office, no. Not just thinking of one time big time project. Dapat hindi ganon, no. We should always look at the client as a repeat client,
Yes.
hindi yung
Yeah.
so uh, what happened is that SGS thrive, no, or lumago siya kasi consistent siya, mapagkakatiwalaan. Yun yung nakita nila sa SGS noon, no. Not only from my end, but yung mga nauna rin, no. Because when the original SGS handed it to me, meron na silang mga kakilala, kaibigan na nagbigay na rin ng mga projects eventually, no. So yung yung one big developer na kaibigan natin, sila yung talagang bumuhay din sa SGS, and it gave us projects to build up our portfolio. And of course, yung mga outsourcing projects natin, no. Before the condo mania, yung condo projects nag-boom sa Philippines,
Yeah.
we're already doing those podium development through
Mm.
outsourcing. Kaya nung nag-boom ang
Ah.
condo, parang kahit nakapikit kami, alam na namin yung detalye nun eh, no?
True.
And
That's true.
nagulat kami,
Good.
yung mga contractors, sila yung naiiwan kasi it's new to them.
Oo.
Dama man,
Oo.
Neil?
That's true.
Yeah, even today, it's true. It's true.
Yeah, even
Yeah,
today.
even today.
Elevations din nila makuha eh. Yung mga podium
Uh,
na yan. Anyway, yan.
yeah.
I
Ayun.
have a question. Siyempre, nagkasalubong kayo sa SGS and everything, and there's an interlap between your times there. Meron ba kayong favorite project that you both worked on together?
Mm,
At kung wala man, you could talk about like your own or the most, not one favorite, it could be more remarkable or something that really made you think, with problems also with regards to,
yeah.
yeah,
I think
design or the firm.
before SGS broke up, we had one very good project. That's the Naglagbong geothermal park in PE.
Geothermal. Yes.
Yeah, that was a major project for us. And as proof of our na event, when we submitted our proposal, the client went back to us. Are you sure this is your fee? It's not that it was too high; it was too low for them.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but we were already there, and we, said, yeah, we'll do it. So we signed, and nabuo yun. I don't know if it's still existing.
It's still there.
Still there, yeah. So
Yeah.
so Leo, AG, and myself worked on that. AG mostly a lot of the artwork that stood there, in the
That's him.
entrance. It's him. I did a lot of the planning with the walls, planting. So, yeah, that was a memorable project. And until the time I was in Singapore passing out my portfolio, kasama yun. Kahit ngayon,
Yeah.
nasa portfolio ko yung naglagbong. It's
Really?
there. Yeah.
Yeah. Nasa
Wow.
And
portfolio din.
yeah. And my interlap with Vic's SGS, we did a lot of China hotels, right? May ginawa tayong
Yes.
hotel sa China. We That was
Guangzhou.
supposed to be an intercontinental.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Guangzhou
was
ba
big.
yun? Sa
Uh,
Guangzhou?
yeah,
It's
yung
a
spa.
seven-star hotel. Tama ba yun?
Supposed
Wow.
to be.
Spa
Yeah,
resort?
yeah,
Yeah, it's a
yeah.
seven-star spa resort
Ano
hotel.
It's big.
nangyari
It was big.
kung supposed to
Um,
be?
Nabuo naman yun. They built it,
Yeah.
but I know they had problems with supposed to be Intercon was gonna take it. Somebody else, another group took it, and yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it was built.
Yeah.
But
And it was
Sir
a
Vic,
very
you were
challenging
there from the
project.
ground up. You were there from like schematic design phase all
No,
throughout.
no.
I was
But in
there.
other
Vic was there in
areas,
DD. Yeah, yeah. A
yeah,
lot of the
DD, but
DD
there are,
was SGS. Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
So that's how we work together. We would pass them the schematics, SketchUp. No, no, no. We had SketchUp 4 or 5. Yeah.
Four.
So
Okay.
so
AutoCAD
we
8,
would pass.
9.
Yeah. So we would pass Vic the schematics and all that. Sabi ko, ikaw nang bahala dyan. And so there you go.
Di naman
Yeah.
mahirap communication wise between
Yahoo
China
Messenger.
and
Yahoo Messenger.
talaga.
So
Hmm.
good. Yeah.
Really, Yahoo Messenger.
We
Okay.
we were the project was done here in Singapore. Most of the drawings. I flew to China to with my boss to look at the project. Pero most of the drawings none sa SGS ginawa. So yeah.
Yes.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Ay. Okay, we have a question. I'm just gonna just derail the topic a little bit.
Sure.
So there's a question from our Facebook live stream. Someone's asking, with the pandemic that's still going on, is it ideal for an old firm who's been sleeping for years or who hasn't been really active to maybe get back in the game, given that they've had a decent number of clients and experiences? So that was the question just raised lang naman.
Uh, if you have the resources
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
build it up, then okay.
Yeah.
If it had a name and a good portfolio, siguro you're gonna need to update it a bit, but it's still there. It's still work done.
Yes.
Yeah. Yung
Because
question yung
if you have,
yeah. Go ahead.
Sir Vic. Sir Vic.
yeah, if you have that base clients already, that have what do you call that? They trust that your company, no? Babalik sila sa iyo, no? They will try you again. Okay. But as Neil said, if you have the resources to build it up again, rises up from the ashes, no? Parang phoenix lang, ganun. Why not?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Yung question though, say sabihin natin, like for a while you guys haven't been having projects and everything. Like what Neil did was they joined competitions. Do clients really look at that and say, okay yung ginawa nila sa competition na to or do they look at the ones that are really built more? Parang, do they give more emphasis on the ones that are built, the ones that are executed? Because especially
Um,
say just so you have an idea, no? Like say someone my age, na, not naman, yeah, or someone around my generation na, we're still starting our portfolio, but we kind of want to put up our own firm. Is it ideal to join competitions, put our, like, say, sabihin natin yung thesis natin or something, and put that in a portfolio, or does it have to be a little bit more concrete?
I would say from my standpoint, whatever you have. Let's say when you're starting an office with, I can't say zero experience. To start from zero
Oo naman.
experience,
Oo naman.
hirap nun, di ba? So
Yeah.
let's say like you mentioned you were like 2 or 3 years in an office, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So you did projects. So with of course with the permission of your office, if they give it, then the projects you worked on you can show off. And syempre, as your background, sama mo yung portfolio mo from university. That's what you have. You're gonna sell yourself as first as a creative, di ba? Kaya kong mag-design yan. This is what I can do. Then masusubukan ka niyan. Can you actually build the
Yeah.
project from nasa sayo na yun? That's how you're
Yeah.
gonna sell yourself, I think. Tama ba, Vic?
Tama yun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, uh, when the project is going on, no, yung ongoing na yung projects, doon ka
Mm,
masusubukan talaga, no. There are
yeah,
especially on site, no, there will
super.
be some what do you call that? Not only project managers but some engineers that will test your what do you call that? Basic knowledge, no. So and not only basic knowledge but common sense, no.
No.
So
Yeah.
they will try
Pap,
to ask
pap,
you things.
papaiyakin ka nila.
Mm,
Oo. Tsaka
yeah.
ang hassle din, you're on site, tapos biglang they raise this question, you have to troubleshoot then and there. Like, okay,
Mm.
sige, paano to? Those are the problems that I've experienced, no?
That's
Na
how
parang,
SGS operates, no.
talaga, talaga.
When we are on site, we troubleshoot it on site. Hindi na yung
Yeah.
babalikan ka namin. Eh. We
Yeah.
troubleshoot on site. Tama Neil?
Tama. No, that's what we try to tell our team, the younger ones especially. Kasi i-irritate yung client kapag, oh, teka lang, tatanong ko kay Neil kung ta. So, so what we try to tell the team members is that project nyo to, take ownership. What you do,
Okay.
yes, we design, but you're in there, you're doing it. So you need to know your stuff. Like I said, before you even start out, you need to know what landscape are at least 80% of what landscape architecture is about from the ground, from paper to the ground. Diba? So
It,
that's yeah.
question. So, your firm and the people that work under you or the people that you have as staff, so you really give them that responsibility, like, hey, this is your project also. Sure, I'm the principal, I'm the one signing the documents, but you're also
Mm.
part of this. Do
Yeah.
you give them authority to do the troubleshooting? Do you have to make them come back to you and check back first before anything? Because one little mistake or one little change can be detrimental either through cost
True.
or through detail. So I'm just wondering lang.
In my case, um, that's how I was trained. IP
Okay.
would throw you in the middle and go swim. And when I went here with Dennis Taylor, it's the same. You know,
Okay.
he threw me in the deep end, and when I said, "Boss, I can't," no, 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 you're there, do it. So in the same line, but your learning curve would be very, very steep. Mabilis kang, mabilis
Yeah.
kang matututo.
Yeah.
Right.
You're going to screw up, but try not to. A lot- Try your best not to. You know,
Or try
if you're
to
if you're
with
responsible
grace.
enough, because what we tell them is that lahat tayo may lisensya. You're all professionals.
That's
So
right.
why would you stifle yourself? You know something. You're trained. That's what that's what I was told. You're trained. You know what to do. Do it.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
From
Of course,
from my
now ikaw may
yeah,
backup.
Like,
yeah. From my end, no, yung mga staff ko dito is pakakawalan ko sila pag sa tingin namin not only me, but the what do you call that, the older staff, no. Pag sinabi
mm,
ng mga older staff, yung mga senior LA na, sir, pwede na yan mag-meeting, pwede na yan pakawalan, no. So I let them go, no? Kasi if lagi silang, "Sir, pwede ba 'to? Pwede ba 'to?" Ganyan. Aasa lang sila sa'yo, no? So they
that's
have to
true.
work independently,
That's true.
no? But minsan ano pa rin, bumabalik pa rin 'tong mga sina Jake sa akin. Sir, takot sila, may takot din.
Yeah.
Kasi mahirap din talagang magkamali, no? 'Yun. So minsan tinatanong pa rin ako mga trivial matters, but I do appreciate din naman na gano'n, but dapat talaga meron kang lakas ng loob din.
True.
Mm.
Ang ayaw ko nangyayari nun sa akin is tatawagan nila yung boss. Ayaw. Kasi when that happens, alam ko, oh shit, I screwed up.
I screwed up.
Okay. So
That's
okay.
true.
So it happens. It happens, and
Yeah.
it has happened to me several times.
Yeah.
One
Nangyayari din sa akin 'yun. Tumatawag na yung client sa akin direct na. Pag
uh,
yung client tumawag na sa akin, ano kayang
may
ginawa ni Jake? No, Jake. Nandiyan si Jake, may ganyan. So, mga hindi na submit or may mga kulang, ganun.
Mm,
So,
mm. And syempre naman, you can't naman say it's their fault, 'di ba? Syempre, aangkinin mo din yung ano.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. You
yeah.
have to take the you have to take the blame then pag ganun.
sa akin, command responsibility.
Of
Yes.
course, of course.
Important.
That's good. That's good. Because I remember lang talaga like starting out na medyo thrown into the deep end then when I was working under a firm na okay, this is what we're gonna do, this is this and that, and I've made mistakes then, and it's just nice to have to know that your boss is the one na saying okay lang sa salon naman ka talaga, 'di ba? So it's like say, I'll catch you, don't worry. And like for me, very helpful with regards to
Mm,
growth. Because,
true.
if you're not allowed, if you feel like you're in the fear of making the mistake, you won't learn eh. 'Di ba?
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah, so the opposite of that is when you own a firm, there's no boss. You're the boss.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
So you make if
Yeah,
you screw up, you
that's true.
then that's on you. The buck
Oo.
stops with you, right? So
Yeah, totoo 'yun.
wala ka nang malilingunan pag talikod mong ganun. Wala na. That's
you look at the mirror like, oh nga pala, ako yun. Shucks, hassle.
true.
That's great though. That's great though. I appreciate then na like people that they do stuff, they troubleshoot on site. It's a little bit more ano din, more efficient, and it's easy like you're here na, so might as well fix it. You don't have to go back to the office, go back to the drawings and then submit it pa,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
This,
these days, madali na, di ba? Dahil you have the iPad, you have those apps, you can always
yeah.
sketch on it. You have WhatsApp, you have Viber. So sandali na lang. Yun nga yung that's a drawback also. Wala nang intayan. You cannot say anymore. Teka, I'll get back to you after I get back to my office. It's already there. So and it's
That's
a
Yeah.
learned skill. The more you do this work, then I think it's true for any other thing. Right? The more you do it, it becomes automatic for in some cases. How to solve this or how do we solve it? Oh, ganito yan. Ganito yan.
yeah.
Tapos na. Yung problem. Right? So,
Yeah.
That's true. I'm sure that's something that has changed, no? Like just the speed of everything with regards to design, production,
mm,
coordination. Since you guys started in back in the early 2000s to now, more than 20 years, right? I think that's something that has changed. And is it something that has helped? Or do you want it a little bit more relaxed, the pace, or is the speed too fast naman nowadays?
uh,
I don't
you
know.
get used to
No,
it, I
you
suppose.
get
You
used to
get
it.
used to it every year, di ba? Kahit naman tayo noon, Vic, di ba? Every time sa site, pen and paper, we can
Yes.
sketch. We can do with our hands. Like I said,
Mm,
we can build from scratch, from tracing with a pen, right? So
right.
when we were in China, sketch lang namin noon. Pagbalik namin sa office, like we had to travel from another town. Sabihin ng boss, oh, they like your sketch, they're building it. So
No, talaga.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
As
like
in,
that. Yeah.
on-site lang sketch, tapos ito okay na, and then they'll just build it.
Ganon yan. Ganon kami na nila, nagugulat na lang kami. Wait, we're going to do the drawings. That's not, so, ganyan.
Ang
It's how,
yeah. What's good with
So,
our generation is that we're both digital and analog, no? Yung
mm,
generation namin, no? It's the generation sandwich between those two technology transition, no? That's why we were able to adapt easily, no? When you say analog, no, we have that on-site drawings, yung site drawings
oo,
mo.
oo.
Ang gulo-gulo na kasi ang dami ng drawing
Mga
doon. Pag
annotations.
tinig mo
Tama.
sa likod nun, punong-puno ng drawings, no? That's the analog part of us, no? Yung digital part of us naman, we do presentation at the early stages of SketchUp, no? We push pull those blocks at tuwang-tuwa na yung client. Ah! Napapagano na yung client. Anong program yan? Anong program yan? No? No? So yun yung generation namin. Yun yung that's the advantage of our generation.
That's true.
Yan.
I think personally, I still very much admire sketching because even on my plans, I would still do site developments na sketched because there's a there's a charm to it, 'di ba? Kahit medyo malaki yung development, I would see before the mga big China developments, even if there's like huge hectares big, it's still done by hand or it's still done digitally but with a pen or something. And I appreciate that. And whenever I'm on site, I just have my iPad and I sketch, okay, this is what we do. And then you just formalize it and go on with their day na yan. So, I totally get what you mean din naman. Yeah. Okay. Um, I know we have one question um, about how firms were handled nowadays. No, just moving on lang a little bit more. So there's a question by Junjun actually. So he asked, was there any form of support from the government during the pandemic? And in terms of like streamlining permits, paying SSS, PhilHealth, and knowing limited activities, I think this is more for Sir Vic because he's the one based here in Manila. But was it harder to handle all these things and all the parang bills that you had to pay then during the pandemic or
It was on
Yeah,
mostly online eh.
mm.
Remember, Neil also have a Manila office, huh?
Oh yeah, that's
So
right. That's
Junjun
right.
should know the answer to that.
Pero
I think he
yeah,
Junjun
knows
is
the
the one
answer.
that asks this. So he
He's
should be the
running.
one that should know.
kaya kaya niya
Invite
tinatanong
him to
kasi
the video.
may naiwan yata kung hindi nabayaran.
No, there, I
Mostly
think,
online eh.
yeah, I think online. There are banks that offer all these things online,
Yes.
but you have to fill up all those forms, and yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're doing part of that with the
Well,
help
I
of
think
our accountant.
yeah, but I think the government should extend help to the MSMEs, no? Kasi we were considered na ano eh, small or medium enterprise tayo eh, no?
Okay.
Yeah.
And we were also badly hit, no? Uh, aminin natin, no, na apektuhan talaga yung industry din natin. But
Oo naman.
yun nga, well, mahirap na magsalita, no, but yeah, we
Uh,
will go political here,
yeah, we'll go.
no.
It's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay. We don't naman have
Well,
to. Not naman
Yeah.
ano. Sabi ni Junjun, he's just checking lang daw. Baka mali yung pagkaintindi niya. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, he's tuning in pa naman at least. At least, no. He's tuning in pa naman.
Yeah.
Um, uh,
Here in Singapore, there's help. Although the what the organization SILA is doing here is trying to get us recognized at a higher tier. Kasi what happened is that in the built environment group, architects, engineers, all that. Hindi kasama yung LA. Hindi pa kasama yung LA. We're on another tier.
really?
Kunyari, tier 1 sila, we're tier 2. So we do not get the same amount of help that the firms are getting. So although especially during the first year, yeah, there were several tranches now the government sent help, and yeah,
Interesting. So, there's no like parang, you're saying that there are tiers for
yeah,
industry? Really?
the industry, yeah, in it per industry, like we're in the built environment industry, so in
Right.
that category there are several contractors, architectural firms, engineers. Yung LAs nasa, I would say, a lower tier pa. Wala pa tayo dun sa ano. So what SILA is doing is trying to get us into that and asking the question, why are we not part of that tier? We're part of the built
Right.
environment, right? So
Right. Right.
it's another struggle. It's another story, but yeah, we'll be getting there.
I'm sure Pala's doing the same din naman, no, Sir Vic, with
yeah,
regards to importance ba? With regards to importance in the built environment here in the Philippines.
Mm.
yeah. Pala is trying everything it's to do, no, para maayos lang din, no. We have many issues right now, no. Even we are also affected with what you call that, yung house bill ng architecture, no?
Mm, mm.
So
Yeah,
apektado rin tayo dun sa ano house bill na yon. So
totoo.
maraming issues na,
Mm.
so yon, pinagtutulong-tulungan naman natin ng, so the Pala board and some of its members are uh, doing something para sa mga ganito. May mga committees din tayo diyan.
Okay.
Mm.
Great.
Well, um, we can actually wrap it up. I would just ask if you guys have any tips for people that would like to start up their own practice, or people just starting up their own practice, if they're or people who are in firms, maybe some tips that could help them just along the way. Nowadays, especially in the pandemic, things are a little bit, touch and go then. But if they want to start one up, what would you guys advise, basically? Doesn't have to be naman so professional also. It could just be
Well,
like very...
for me, ano yan eh, tawag nito, lakas ng loob,
Uh-huh.
like what we did, no? Leap of faith, okay? But when you do that, you should have that proper experience, no? Kung isa o dalawang taon ka lang sa isang firm, you will not survive, okay? Kahit sabihin mong malalaki yung projects na nahawakan mo, 2 years is not enough uh, practice to put up your own office, no?
Mm-hmm.
Hindi mo pa na observe ng mabuti paano patakbuhin yung opisina. Okay? Because in your first year, the products that you will be handling is not that big, no? Detailing, sketching, ganun lang. In your second year, saka ka palang bibigyan ng projects that you can work alone. In your third year, bigger projects or something, no? So it's very important you build up your experience. And when I say build up your experience, dapat aggressive ka, no, na matuto. Hindi lang yung kung ano yung bigay sa'yo, ganyan lang
Oo,
yung
yun lang yun.
gagawin mo, no?
Mm.
And you should think, no? Dapat nag-iisip tayo lagi. We're in the creative industry, no? We're not CAD operators, no? We're not SketchUp operators, no? Dapat nag-iisip talaga tayo, nag-iisip lagi. And yon, finances, be prepared, no? We warned you, no? Be
Mm.
prepared, no? Ah, ganun 'yon, no? Magugutom kayo. Yun lang. That's the reality when you put up your own office. Magugutom kayo for sometimes, no? But the reward is fulfilling naman.
Yeah.
Ayon.
Uh, yeah. For me, yan, sabi ko nga kanina, what Vic also said, that you should know the profession, at least 80% of the profession by heart. So, kahit matulog ka, kahit nakapigid ka, alam mo. That's one. Why not 100%? Mahirap yan. In fact,
Yeah.
until now, we're learning. So, go 80%, that you know a lot. And then, I think the other thing I mentioned earlier, being a landscape architect and being a businessman, those are two different things. So
That's true.
if you know 80% of being a landscape architect, then learn more about doing business. You know how money flows, how a firm operates. We mentioned earlier that the firm is a hungry beast. Every day, every month, kumakain yan. The more people you have, of course, mas marami kang kailangan pakainin. Yeah, so kaya yung sabi ni Vic, magugutom ka talaga. You're the last to eat, right? So,
Yeah.
and lastly, secure your network. The
Yes.
people you meet along the way. That's the reason. Like 1 or 2 years, maybe you're from a family who know a lot of people. That's good for you. Pero for those of us, nawala, wala yan. You need to build your network from the time you start in your firm. Siguro sabihin mo ay kapantay ko lang yan. Isipin mo 5-10 years later, they're head of planning somewhere, doing head of developer.
Right. Yeah.
So these are people you can knock on their doors. So, um, and that's where your projects are gonna come in. And like what Vic said earlier, yes, you have one big project now. That becomes less important. The next important thing is the next project, the
That's
projects
true.
that is coming in. So you need to have
That's
a
true.
pipeline, right?
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6 projects. Kasi mauubos yung project na yan. And one project, kahit sabihin mong 3, 4, 5 million yan, yung makikita mo dyan in the beginning, kapiraso, you'll see that in years, like maybe a million a year. You're lucky to have a million a year of a project. A project's life is what, 3, 4, 5 years?
Yeah,
I'm doing
that's
a
true.
project there that's already 8 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Still
think
right.
that's
It's the
The money is
reality.
gone,
a lot of
So
people don't realize that it takes so long just to be able to complete a project, and even if you close that contract, that's like that should last you around how many,
yeah,
years
true.
na rin. And
Yeah.
yeah, people don't
So you have
realize
to
that
be
nga.
realistic. Huwag kang masisilaw sa the money that you see on
Yeah,
your first contract. That's nothing.
that's true.
That's only gonna pick you up. So you have to get the next one and the next one,
Right,
next
right.
one. So
Yeah.
yeah,
We have 10-year-old project na ongoing pa rin. Ayan, oh, nag-message si Jake, oh. Project since 2012. We do have projects na ganyan, no?
yeah.
Grabe.
Sabay
Yeah.
Grabe.
tayo
And
dyan.
also, no, in terms of networking, no, yung mga kainuman mo sa sa Saras, wag mo silang kakalimutan.
Oo,
They
Yeah,
don't burn
some
bridges.
yeah,
That's true.
someday they will be the head of those offices, no?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. So
Yung
don't
kala
burn
mong
bridges
ano,
kahit kolehiyo pa lang,
oo,
no?
yung kala mong
yeah.
nanggagago lang at nagkukulit lang.
Yeah.
How many
Oo.
years later, they're head of something, o diba?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay.
True.
And also, no, we have this joke na na I have this friend na head na ng isang opisina.
Mm.
Pag nakikipagnego sa sa professional fee, sasabihin sa akin, pare, isang kape lang 'yan, tapos na yung schematics niyan, no? It's true, no? Pwedeng gawin mo sa isang kape, but it took you
How
years
many
to
years?
That's true. That's
practice
true.
that, 'di ba?
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. Any final words for people, or I think we're okay?
My dog
Final
is
No,
words.
barking
Noisy
hard.
na. It's okay. It's
yeah,
okay. That's
yeah,
the drawbacks of staying and working at home. You can't really help but have all the noises around you.
true.
Okay. Well, I'd just like to thank you guys for taking the time to parang to just make kwento and just to tell your story of how things started and how things are going and how things are hopefully how things would be going on later. Hopefully fruitful
Hmm.
businesses for both of you and for everyone else who's practicing landscape architecture. I have learned a lot. I I am very much younger compared to the experiences that you both of you have gone through. So I have learned a lot from just talking about all these things. And actually, I really like just learning about what you guys have experienced. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I
Thank
hope
you for
also
having us.
the people that joined tonight, um, they learned something also. And even if nag-ano lang naman si Junjun na naninigurado lang naman siya na wala siyang nakalimutan, at least, we'll be able to, so, ayan. But yeah, thank you again. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yes, don't
Right.
be discouraged dun sa mga sinabi namin. Dapat ma-encourage nga kayo, no?
Yeah. Uh-uh. So, okay. With that, I would like to again thank you, Sir Vic and Neil, for imparting whatever knowledge you guys have come across and all the stories. Very, very much appreciated. And for all the people watching, thank you for joining us also. We'll announce when our next episode will be for Palakwento. So we guys just more of like something like this na, very chill kwento session. Parang honestly, you could get a beer, drink it, or while just listening to the kwento. That's our goal basically. So again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Um, we learned a lot then from our two guests, and I hope that in the next session we'll have a lot more, stories to tell, experiences to share, and yeah. So everyone, I hope everyone stays safe, and yeah, stay safe. See you guys.